You don't stop. Never eat your pig cause your pig is a cop.
I got the rap patrol on the Gat Patrol. Ladies love me long time like Tupac Soul.
Like roll, like dough, like dro, nitro. And if you don't know, now you know. You know I got soul. Up to the house
in my 6'4".
Oh snap! Guess what I saw? Standing on the front stoop, hanging out the window.
Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door. I jumped out the rock and said, what's up?
Designated driver, take the keys to my truck.
Pauline, I'm a cook.
Get nice, split the blunt up.
Come on, everybody, let's get
Get the fuck up.
Man, what y'all wanna do?
What you gonna do?
Wanna be a baller.
B-ballers,
Shot
shot
callers.
callers. I wish I had a girl who looked good, I would call her.
I was like, good gracious, ass is bodacious.
And I approach baby like,
My name is
last name ever, first name greatest. I've been spending hundreds since they had small faces.
See no bother layers, true fucking player. Breaks in the space means peace, see you later.
Funky fresh and yes, cold on my feet.
My life's like a soundtrack I wrote to the beat. When the streets keep calling, heard it when I was asleep.
T-O-M-P-T-O in my city, mobbing in the street.
This is my part, nobody else speaks.
Football is back, and BetOnline is your number one information source for all your sports wagering info with all the up-to-the-minute stats, news, scores, and matchup breakdowns. Hey, everybody, it's Lloyd Spence, and listen, get the latest game odds, spreads, and totals from the NFL and college football at your fingertips with BetOnline's real-time updates on statistics, news, and odds. From week 1 all the way to the college football playoff and Super Bowl, BetOnline gives you access to the best football promotions and contests available anywhere online. So head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. And remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. It's BetOnline. It's where the game starts. Tell them the Noisemaker sent you.
Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Yeah.
Can I make you groove now? Yes, I can. So you can get this groove in a bag of a can. I can make it round the world when it holds in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. 250 flavors. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World.
Welcome to Talkin NOIZ, the daily podcast that brings you up to speed and keeps you informed about real issues affecting real people. With your host, Mr. Talkin NOIZ himself, Lloyd Spence. His beautiful wife, Mrs. Noise, Kenyatta Spence. The ever-informed Brother Noise, Alan Brown. And yours cordially, Uncle Noise, Shake Anderson. Come on in and join us as we reveal and opine today's most pressing issues. Real truth while having real fun. Talkin NOIZ is in your house right now. So sit back and enjoy Talkin NOIZ.
in the building. We are here, ready to make noise. It's gonna be a good show. Man, Mr. Noise, beautiful Mama Noise, who is not, I will go ahead and admit for her, she's not well. She's playing hurt today. She's giving it all she got. She's giving it all she got, Captain. And I'm proud of her. Proud of you, Mama Noise. You the real MVP.
Real.
And of course, the incomparable Al B is right there, en route somewhere. I don't know where he's even going, but he en route there.
I'm on my way home from work, player.
Oh, this late is 8:00.
Yes, sir. I left the compound at 7:34.
Shout out
Got
to
there at 5
JCPS.
o'clock.
Shout out to JCPS who's still getting it wrong. I mean, who's doing the best they can. I mean,
Are they?
are they?
I can't answer that. I'm just
Hey,
posing a
don't answer
question.
that. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. You got to be there tomorrow. We are glad to be here with you tonight. We got kind of an explosive show tonight. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world of the blackness right now. And I don't even, like, it's wild. Like, the issues going on tonight is wild. I don't even like it. So Friday, some stories started breaking, and it was just like, what is going on? So we got a lot to discuss, but let me give Mama Noise, give her salutations. And just, Mama Noise, give us the best update you can give us. Give us the best update that you can give us. Like, how you feeling?
Not the best. I can't say my well.
Yeah.
But
you here, you're gonna give us all, and that's all we can hope for. This is Mama Noise's flu game.
nope.
What? That's a good thing, Mama Noise. They won the flu game.
What?
The Bulls, they won the flu game.
I don't know what that is.
Oh my goodness. Michael Jordan played with the flu, which we later found out was food poisoning.
Well, see, I would never claim flu anyway.
And he also shoved that guy out of the way to hit that game-winning shot.
Right, and then he shoved the guy out. Well, that's a whole nother conversation. You found him, Mike. Get over it. They didn't call it, so, you got away with it. It is what it is. We ain't complaining. We're just saying. Let's get the elephant in the room out the way, okay? Can we just do that? Yes. My Giants got their ass whooped. Okay? That's just one game. But we got ass whooped. I can't, when somebody beats you 40-0, you can't hide from that.
I'm not harping on it or anything, but y'all were the only team in the NFL that didn't score this week.
That's all I'm saying. We didn't score.
I'm not harping on it or anything, but we have beat y'all the last 15 out of 16 games.
I recognize that, Al. It feels like you're starting to harp on it a little bit, like a little bit. Listen, you can't hide from a 40-0 ass whooping. You can't. You want to. You want to be like, have some takeaways, be like, well, if we just would have done this, or if we just would have maybe this would have done that, this person would have blocked. I don't even know what the takeaways are. Shirley can't be that bad. Shirley be better than that. Shirley. Now, if Arizona beat us 40-0 this week, I'm gonna have concerns. I'm gonna have deep concerns.
Yeah, our best quarterback was Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones was, listen, he showed y'all a lot of love this week. A lot of love. Okay.
But we digress.
We digress. I don't even know where to start with this first story. I really don't, because it's so all over the place. But since we're talking about football, I feel like that's the place we need to start. So Friday, news came out of the head coach of Michigan State. Was it Friday or Thursday? Maybe it was Thursday. But news came out, the head coach of Michigan State, Mel Tucker. He came out and they said, hey, y'all, some allegations have been lobbed at Mel Tucker, and it's not good. Everybody's like, what happened? What Mel do? And they said it was sexual harassment. And I was like, what? So immediately you hear this and you go, oh, man, that's not good, especially at Michigan State. Why, you ask? Because Michigan State has spent the last, what was it, Al, maybe 5-10 years, almost 10 years, fighting allegations about, well, I won't say 10 years, maybe 7 years, 5 or 7 years, fighting allegations of sexual misconduct. They had a doctor that was filling up gymnastic girls and other young ladies on the campus. It was bad. They spent this entire time trying to rehabilitate their reputation because it was so bad as it related to sexual harassment, sexual assault. It was just bad. It was really, really, really bad. Go look it up. It was bad. And so this comes out on Friday. And I think the quote that I heard rumor of from the university president was she was in her office and got the news and she's like, God damn it. I'm sorry. Because she's trying to get past all this. And she was close. And then this comes up. But this ain't your typical sexual harassment story. This is not a guy with a secretary or a guy. This is wild. This is a wild, wild story. So, in order to understand this story, we got to take you back just a little bit. I'm going to try to condense all of this down a little bit. And Mama Noise and I and Al and because we all fill in the blank as we go through the discussion. But the condensed version is there was a young lady that came on campus by the name of Brenda Tracy. Brenda Tracy is a rape survivor who, in her college days, was raped by, and I'm not using that term loosely. I'm trying to be fair. She was raped by two college students and one junior college, one high school. They were the junior college student and the high school student were, I think, on a recruiting trip or something like that. But she was raped in a somewhat dating type situation, but we'll get to that later. But anyway, on the other side of her rape, she has become a rape survivor advocate, and she has made it her mission to go around the world, and mostly when I say the world, I mean the United States, talking to high school football teams, college football teams, pro football teams about being respectful, and when a woman says no, it means no, and coaches have found her, dare I say, somewhat inspirational. Her story, or at least her story, is a good warning to the players. So that's what she spends her life doing. This is how she met Mel Tucker, the head coach of Michigan State. He brings her in. He says, hey, talk to my guys, let them know your story, because we want them to be safe. We want the women on this campus to be safe. Plus, for what's going on in Michigan State, this is a great idea because we've had a lot of shit going on. So he brings her in. She gives a speech, standing ovation. We love you. Oh, you're amazing. He brings her in again. I guess she speaks again. Standing ovation. Oh, this is awesome. He's so inspired by her that he makes her an honorary captain, which is weird. I won't hold you. It's a little weird. because all she did was just come in and speak, but whatever. Not completely out of ordinary, but a little bit like, the black radar goes up a little bit. Like, I don't understand that, but whatever. Okay. Then Thursday happens, or Friday. I can't remember the day, but Thursday, Friday happens. And the allegations come out. And the allegations are that Brenda was on the phone with Mel, and Mel, in the middle of their conversation, just started sexually harassing her and masturbating on the phone. What? Now, I know what you're thinking, because you're thinking what I'm thinking. This makes no sense. She notifies the university. University notifies Mel. By Saturday afternoon, Mel is suspended. Now, he's suspended, but he comes back and says, yo. That ain't what happened. What nobody sexually harassing nobody. What we was doing was we was having good old-fashioned phone sex. I'm pulling my stuff out. She pulling her stuff out. I thought everybody had a good time. That was the impression I got. So I'm shocked. I am shocked that she would make these allegations. Now, plot twist, we all thought that Mel was a happily married black man. Beautiful wife, 2 strapping young men as sons. We had no idea when Mel was out here living reckless. So now here we are. A full-on investigation is going forward. He's released his statement calling it a sham. She's saying, no, you re-triggered me after 25 years. I can't believe you've done this thing to me. By the way, Mel is the highest paid black coach in the country. He's on a 10-year, $95 million contract.
Ever.
No black man, especially in Division I, well, really no black man ever in sports has ever made as much as Mel Tucker is making. And that's where we are today. So we've decided, because that's what we do, we decided to talk about it tonight. Because it's a
Can I pose a question before we get too far?
Absolutely, sir. Go ahead.
Hasn't that progressed further than a suspension? Isn't he full-blown terminated now?
If he has been, it's something that's happened in the last 12 hours. Because I've been away from the story.
I think you might want to just look that up. I believe it has progressed to termination.
Okay. Let me Google.
Cuz is shaking his head. But I thought I read an article on now he's trying to figure out how he can get the money.
Right. He's working on that angle, but they have not fired him yet.
Okay. Maybe I misread the article from about 3 hours ago.
That's okay. Well, let me say this, Al. I don't think you're far off from your assessment, because what I think is happening is exactly what Cuz just said. I believe, regardless of how this plays out, he's going to be fired. There's no question he's going to be fired. Michigan State cannot have his guy on staff at all. It is impossible. Why? Not because of what he did. Well, not just because of what he did, but it's also because of what they've been through. They can't keep him on board. That the coaches going forward for the rest of eternity at Michigan State have to be above reproach. They have to be.
And surely, with their history, there was some sort of morality clause or something. I don't know.
No, that's exactly right. You nailed it. And that's what's happening right now. Because I saw somebody did a deep dive into his contract, and technically right today, he could be fired for a cause and it's over. He gets nothing. But I think there's a part of this where he's saying, hey man, what I'm being accused of is not true. So that's the part where the struggle comes in. So now I'll add this because I'm not even sure, because I don't know if you got a chance to read the article we sent you, but there's a part of this that's very uncomfortable. And but we deal in the uncomfortable with this here podcast. So we're good at it. So the allegation that she made some years back as it relates to her rape, there's a lot of murkiness in the article. And noisemakers, if you'd like us to send you the article, we have no problem sending you the article. Just inbox Mama Noise, inbox me, we'll send it to you. It's real shaky. It's the 4 guys admitted, well, 3 of them admitted. One of them was like, I didn't do nothing, but then they finally outed him or whatever. But they admitted that they had sex with her, and they found 5 condoms or something like that in the bathroom or something like that. But she initially wouldn't take a rape kit because she was dating a guy at Ohio State. And so she didn't want to take the rape kit. And then when she finally took it, one doctor or one nurse said, no, she was for sure it was not consensual. But the guys are obviously claiming that it was consensual, and that her no wasn't a real no. So the allegations, and I don't think they were ever convicted, were they, Mama Noise? Did you read it? Cause it was so long I couldn't get back to the end of it. But if I'm not mistaken,
well, first it was convicted. They convicted him of sodomy, and then
they did convict him of sodomy. Okay, and
they tried to add, a couple of saying that they were like, if convicted, it would be 16 years. So on.
No, they were accused of sodomy. They weren't. I don't think they were convicted. I don't think they were ever found guilty.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm here to help.
I believe it was alleged.
So the point that we're making is she's built a whole brand around this.
Well, I'm saying if I was an attorney,
yeah,
for what's his name? Coach, what's his name?
Mel Tucker.
My goodness, Noise.
Huh?
Get some of the names right now. Come on.
She's not feeling her best. We're gonna give her a pass tonight, cuz. It's okay. It's all right.
The coach, if I was an attorney for him, I would rip her to shreds. She's got stuff. Her whole past is just I know she's been a victim at one point, but I mean, when you go through somebody did an article on her whole past starting from 5 years old.
It's not good.
It's bananas. And it would look like, if I was a prosecuting attorney, I would rip her to shreds, because this is an opportunity. She's an opportunist. That she been there all this time trying to tell them what to do right. Now all of a sudden, you don't know a sexual situation after all the stuff that you've endured. You don't understand what,
And let me say this real quick. We are not victim blaming. I want to start by saying that. We're not saying that, because we don't know. Honestly, the worst part about the story is that we don't know. This may be the one time she is telling the truth. We don't know. I say the one time. That sounds like I'm victim blaming. We don't know. That's the whole thing about this whole thing, because there were only 2 people that were part of this conversation.
Only 2
people.
However,
if I am a lawyer, the first thing I'm going after is the phone records. That's easy.
And
just real quick, if the phone records reveal a lot of different calls and they're like late at night or whatever, then that speaks more to the credibility, because because Mel is kind of alluding that this was a relationship kind of thing, like they had an inappropriate relationship. So, this is wild, y'all. This is a wild one. But let's get into all the elements of it, the nuances of it. Your initial thoughts, Jay, Mama Noise, Al. What are your initial thoughts of all of it?
I'll say this, and then I'll move out the way. First, what up, cuz? I don't think I formally said good evening.
What up, dog?
And Mama Noise, I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
And Lloyd, I really don't give a damn because you had the gall to wear that shirt.
I gotta support him. I can't abandon him now.
But anyway, I want to echo what you said. I think I can speak for us. We are not victim bashing or whatever. That's not the case. You know, we're digging a little deeper, trying to expose some facts that are out there for public consumption. I will say this: it is unfortunate, whatever the case, because here we look at a similar incident with Michael Irving.
Yeah,
I know that there's been a settlement in his case, but look at the damage that's been done to his reputation. Yes, he may get the callback for NFL Network or whoever he was working for, but look at the damage to his reputation. So do I say I hope that these allegations are true so that his reputation is not damaged? Or do I say that I hope these allegations are false and his reputation is already damaged? It's, you know, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like Mama Noise said, with all of her experience, she should have been aware of the situation that she was putting herself in. Something just ain't right with this phone call. It's going sideways. Wait a minute, Mr. Male, you out of pocket. So I just,
she's done to other people. It should be, she should let him know he's not exempt. He's not above reproach. Sir, you're out of order.
And according to her, I guess she did. That's, I don't know. Because what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm going to say one hit wonder. All I got. I don't give a damn about her. I don't give a damn what she did when she was 5 years old, 10 years old, 25. I don't care. This was a grown man with responsibilities to himself, his family, even the community there, young blacks that looked up to him there on the campus. He had an obligation to keep himself above board in his dealings with any and everybody. You don't get paid $9 million a year as the highest paid black coach ever. I'd expect for someone to not come after you. There's been enough examples over the years of black men being hemmed up by white women. I'm gonna say that one more again. Some of y'all hear that one. There's been enough examples over the years of black men being hemmed up by white women just because of their success and their money. Why would you come along in 2023 and think that your situation is going to be any different? Mr. Bell didn't whip out his tallywhacker on that phone call out there. Mr. Mail thought he was in a relationship. I thought he had been doing things with the white princess that he wasn't doing at home.
Princess Fiona.
Doing what he wanted to do. We don't have to blame her. We don't have to look at her past. We don't have to look at her story. We don't have to look at how messed up she is. He knew what he was doing.
And by the way,
hold him accountable.
Absolutely. And by the way, in his statement, he says he was estranged from his wife, not divorced. He just says estranged, which I don't know what that means. And then also it says that they engaged in dozens of calls throughout fall 2021 and winter 2022, many of which she initiated, which occurred late at night. We both talked about all sorts of intimate, private matters, and she told me that I could trust her and I proceeded to do just that. So
Absolutely believable.
I think he's probably telling the truth.
Sure.
But to me also that's the bigger problem.
Well, and that truth is in part how he's trying to keep that. If he was in a consensual relationship, if he was separated from his wife, they were having hard times, then why would not? Part of what he's doing is trying to save face, but part of what he's trying to do is keep that money.
Right. Which, by the way, I personally don't see a path for that. I mean, maybe a miracle happens, but I don't see the path. Now, my daughter just asked an amazing question. She said, "Does this mean the lady is wrong?" Ooh. That's a great question, Azari.
It sounds like two individuals, two adults, doing whatever they do over the phone. And I'm saying that she should be just as much as held accountable. She's around all the guys and stuff, and she's telling them what not to do and all this type of stuff. So now here you are on the phone. You trying to say all of a sudden now you wasn't triggered by having phone calls late at night on the phone with this man? I'm just.
Well, okay, so there's so many layers to this. First of all, again, this ain't hard to figure out. There's phone records. You can go right down to the Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, whatever his provider is, and subpoena those records and find out exactly if he's telling the truth. And those phone calls will be time coded, and you'll be able to see when she called. You'll be able to track the number. It's easy to do. It's not hard to do. So for me, that part's easy, and we'll find out very quickly if she's telling the truth. So that's number one. But number two, the fact that he's saying these conversations happen late at night lets me know that both of y'all know y'all was wrong.
Right.
Both of y'all know it's wrong. Because what we talking late at night for? And if you so estranged from your wife, what's the secrecy?
He works long hours.
He's not really available until either the weekly hours or.
But she's one of the captains or whatever. She got access. She can roll up on campus whenever she wants to.
Let me tell you something. You know this as well as I do, cuz when our wives want us, they can find us. When it's somebody, even when we were dating, you wanted me, you can find me. Kieta can find me. It wasn't hard to
Unless you don't want to be found.
Unless I don't want to be found.
Which might lead to why she is identified as estranged, but nevertheless.
My biggest disappointment though is what you said, cuz black man. I need my girl. Where my girl at? I love this. These are the moments when we need her to holler with her blanket on. Where's she at? Where's my lady at? Because this is truly one of those moments. Did we lose her?
Well, thank you for covering up that giant shirt.
No, be quiet. Hush. Here
What are you doing?
I'm saying, black man, what are you doing? You there ain't that many black men coaching Division I football at all. Right now, there's what, 6? maybe 5, 6. It's Dion, him. There's not a lot. Put it like this: you can count them on 2 hands. Is how many Division I men's head coaches there are. You can count them on 2 hands, even though every team is predominantly black. You can count how many black coaches there are on 2 hands. And you just happen to crack the code. I don't know how you did it, because your history says you shouldn't be making this kind of money. You know, a 5-7 record at Colorado and a 2-5 record your first year at Michigan State, and now all of a sudden you're making $95 million. So somehow you fooled the good Wahites into letting them, convincing them that you could really, really coach. And they believed it, and they paid you. And you became the example for an entire community, dare I say, nation. Excuse my language, but why in the fuck would you mess that up? You won, brother. You won. I truly do not understand. Help me understand, y'all.
I'm trying to give an honest perspective, but I keep thinking of, she said that he triggered her when he did that. Okay, if you've been raped by black men, why don't you just stay away from black men? It seemed like all throughout, if you go back through all of her backstory, is black men, more black men. It's black men all over the place. It's like, now I want to go talk to more black men. I want to tell them, stay away from, these situations and stuff. And then I want to travel to campuses with football players, with more black men. It's like, I'm confused. I'm confused on you triggered by some sexual phone call, but I don't understand. I'm perplexed. I can't get a clear perspective.
Do you blame her, Mama? It sounds like you blame her a little bit.
If I hadn't seen all of the backstory, I would say, oh, maybe this is, I know that I've been, as a woman, I've been in situations where there's somebody that's, a VP or somebody like that tries to, take some liberties or tries to, hit on you or whatever, or sexual harassment. I've experienced that. But I mean, it looks like this chick wants to, it's like to me, it's almost like she's an opportunist. She been coming up there, how many times can you tell them, don't do this, don't do that? I've learned from,
Okay, but Mama Noise, I got to ask you a question. What percentage of the blame do you place on in his lap, or do you place any? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I place more blame on him than I do on her. In my mind, she is what she is. Whatever she is, that's what she is.
Maybe he trusted her like he said he did. He thought, we're 2 consenting adults, and if we don't have nothing, it's like, to me, I guess I get sometimes upset because I feel like, and I know somebody else would be like, Mama Noise, how you a woman and feel this way? I feel like sometimes that there's a lot of guys out there that are really innocent of this stuff. And
I don't think he's one of them.
Huh? No,
I don't think he's one of them.
I'm saying this sounds like a consensual situation between 2 adults. And
but okay, I agree with you. No, let me stop you right there. I agree with you. But he's not innocent.
I didn't say that she did it all by herself. I said 2 consenting adults.
You're not hearing what I'm saying. I agree with you. I don't think he committed a crime. He is not innocent.
How do you say you don't think he committed a crime, but then you say he's not innocent?
Because he shouldn't have had his ass involved in it in the first place. You got a whole wife. You got a whole family, bro. And you got a responsibility as a black man to just do the right damn thing. You got hired in this position and you represent us whether you want to. It's the same thing that we said about Dion 2 years ago when he got that job. Nigga, don't go down there to Mississippi and start sleeping with these women and acting a fool and mess up these young black boys. It's the same thing. So he's not innocent. There was no reason Listen, even if you are estranged from your wife, okay, then you got $95 million. Divorce the woman and do things the right way. Why are you in the shadows doing scandalous-ish? That don't make sense.
I agree with you in the regard of the morality aspect of it. I agree that that's
but
wrong.
Mama Noise, that's the part that matters. If he didn't commit a crime, I understand what you're saying. I promise you I do. And I'm not absolving her completely of what she is attempting to do. But what I'm saying is none of this happens. None of this happens if he doesn't show better judgment.
Well, okay, like I said, I'm not saying that morally he made the right choice. I'm saying that he cheated, but cheating doesn't mean that he gets kicked off of the football team as a coach, no longer being a coach and all that type of stuff. We can go back into history and see many a coach that have done stuff. I told you this morning, I said the Arkansas coach, the Ohio State coach after coach, and ain't none of them said, well, you know what? We gonna snatch your contract and we gonna keep you from coaching. No, get your life together and move on. But see, this chick, the reason why it's so bananas is because she's the one saying, I'm an advocate saying, don't go around raping people. So now they going, oh snap, this is the chick that goes around the campuses telling people don't rape people and stuff. He triggered her. Oh my gosh. Well, then we need to get rid of him.
Mama knows. Sounds like you feel better.
I'm taking this pain and bringing it into this conversation.
I hear what you saying, Mama Noise.
I'm just saying it.
But I don't agree.
No, I don't expect you to.
And not that I don't agree that she's not wrong. I do think she might be wrong. I do think this may even have been a setup. But my point is, if you're never there, if you're never involved, if you never engage the conversation, if you are responsible and you fighting for your black family, this black white that you decide to marry, we're not having this conversation. We're not having this conversation.
Mama Noise, in order to support your argument, one would have to believe he's a victim.
He might be.
Mama Noise, stop it.
No.
He might be.
No. He's not.
He thinking that he with this chick, it's just him and this chick. And next thing you know, she said, you know what? When you called me Rochelle, it was triggering. So I think I need to call the peoples.
Okay, Mama Noise. I'm gonna take your argument and I'm gonna run with it. Me, myself, and I have just 2 nickels to rub together. I don't even have 2 dimes. Just 2 nickels to rub together. I can go out there and be as foolish as I want to because I don't have the power that he wields on that campus. He's a very well-respected guy, or was, on campus. Because of his position, because he's a black man, because those students going to that primarily white institution look up to that black man. So as they walk across campus at that primarily white institution, then they have their chest stuck out because they got the head coach, well-known, well-respected, on campus. But in order to carry that load or to walk in that position, you must understand who you are. And you can't allow anything to damage your reputation. Nothing, my mama knows, nothing. Yeah. Now for me, I can go out there and I can jack off on any phone call I want to. I ain't got very much to lose. But this man knows who he is.
Or at least we thought he did.
Exactly. Knows the position he holds. Mama knows he can't sacrifice that. Not just for himself and his family, but for us as a people. All that I could do, Mama knows, I don't do because I know it's going to impact other people. about me and this nut. It's about if I'm found out with these late night sneaking calls, if it's found out that I'm doing this, what will happen to the reputation? How would those that respect me look at me now? Not only will I lose my job, but I lose respect from those. When I called my daughter and told her what was going on, the first thing she said, not the black man. Do you understand how those kids feel on that campus?
Explain why you said your daughter, because I don't think everybody don't know.
She
if
goes,
you want to explain that.
Goes to the school.
She goes to Michigan State. She's there in the middle of it.
Right.
Mama Noise, I hear what you're saying. I understand. I understand what Hink is trying to say. Shout out to Tim. He said, well, he could be a victim of false allegations. I believe he probably is a victim of false allegations. But the problem is, no allegations can be made of a person that's not involved in the situation to begin with. Your ass should have never been there. You should have never been doing this. What are you doing?
Listen. I don't personally, and if you guys do, that's up to y'all. I don't fault the woman for trying to come up. I don't fault her. Maybe he promised her something she didn't get. Maybe she believed something that didn't happen.
And that, listen. How many men have lied to a woman and said, I'm going to leave my wife, and once I divorce her, I'm going to marry you, and we going to have an honest blah, 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 blah. Because listen, let me just be very clear. We pulling all the scabs off tonight. It's a long way from, hey, my name is Mel and your name is Brenda, to I'm pulling my penis out and masturbating on a phone call. That's a big old gap. So some things got to be said, and promises probably going to have to be made for us to trust one another, for her to be touching herself on one side of the phone call and you to be jacking off on the other side of the phone call. A lot of stuff got to happen between that.
Right.
So that's why I tend to believe what he's saying. But that don't absolve him from the responsibility of doing the right thing from the beginning. First of all, Mama Noise, you said it. This girl got a history of she spent her whole life, according to what she said, her whole life being sexually abused. So, Mel, if you knew that, bruh, why you really? You go rescue her now? You gonna be a hero? Why not rescue the black woman that you started with? I'm just saying, this story to me is so
very sad.
And by the way, I have to make an apology to Cuz. Not that I believe 100% that I'm wrong, but it's hard to defend black men when we keep doing dumb shit.
Well, I thought you was going to talk about the Cowboys.
No, I ain't gonna. Listen, let me tell you something. You leave that alone.
Okay, I'm done.
What Ron say? But you fault the guy for wanting to come up. Hey, you stupid, Ron. I'm faulting him for not being smarter. Bro, you got to be smarter than this.
The rise and fall of that black man is his responsibility. He can't blame anybody else for what happens to him. I'm sorry, guys. You cannot sit back and say he's a victim in this situation. That's his fault. Listen. I got some stuff going on at work right now. Be butt ass naked. I don't mind sharing, but there's some inappropriate things being said to me in a sexual way, and because of who I am,
right?
Mama, don't hold your head down.
Mama Noise, you see all that chocolatey goodness?
Hold your head up.
But somebody's talking to you inappropriately.
Why are you laughing, Mama Noise?
Damn.
Mama Noise. Some of these women out here like big chocolate men. Just saying. But the conversations are inappropriate. Well, me, myself, and I don't hold that in. That's not for me to carry around in secrecy.
Okay.
If you know it's inappropriate, then you need to speak. if things were happening inappropriate with that man and he was being victimized by her, then he should have handled that way before he got to that position. Your situation is your responsibility. Your household now will fall financially. I don't know if they're gonna get divorced or whatever, but your situation is changing because of what you did, not what somebody's done to you.
It's really fascinating because, you know, it's probably a horrible time to bring this up on the heels of a 40-0 ass kicking, but I remember the year after we won the Super Bowl, we was all so excited. Like we said, we bringing back the band. We're going to maybe make another run. And about 2 months into the summer, Plexico Bird shot himself in the leg in a club. And we were all thinking, well, that was stupid. Why you got a gun in the club? But then we didn't know about the New York gun laws at that time. That nigga went from shooting himself in the leg to being out of the league. They arrested that man and put him in jail. Now, you could say that the laws were too harsh. You could say that a black man got taken advantage of by the system, whatever you want to say. But the truth is, this nigga shot himself in the leg. He got nobody to blame but himself. That's at the end of the day, if you don't go to the club with a gun in your jacket, first of all, if you gotta go to the club with a gun in your jacket, you probably already messed up the night. What kind of club is this that you gotta go out with a gun?
Question: Do we as a people find it hard to blame black men for what they allow or what they do to themselves for their fall? Do we find it hard to just blame them? Do we have to blame the system? Do we have to blame the female? Do we have to blame? Why
I'd
can't?
like to go first in that response.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use my wife as the example.
Okay.
I think black women and black people in general, but really black women, understand how difficult the system is for black men. And it's not that we're absolving him, is that there's a historical thing that goes all the way back to slavery. That they've seen white men take egregious advantage of black men. And so rather than side with their white counterparts and hold the black man or hold the black man accountable, they don't absolve him completely, but they try to be empathetic and understand. And I get that. But there's a reason why this is happening. That we got to be honest about the part that he has played to his own circumstances. And it's massive. This is not a small thing.
So when does life not become about your choices?
Never.
Life is always about the choice.
Never.
So how do we listen? You, Mr. Noise, you, LB, Mr. Ron, Mr. Hinckley, on that. Listen, you're all great guys, but we have to, as great guys, start holding a higher standard for all guys.
Yeah.
And say to one another, listen, man, listen, it's unacceptable for you to fall. Period. Now, I know nobody's perfect. No. I'm not trying to say that. But there's just certain things, goddammit, Negro, you cannot do. Because it impacts all of us. Now, whoever is going for that next $9 million contract as a black man, he gonna struggle because of the decision of that black man.
Yeah. It might be a while before somebody get a $9.5 million contract again.
A little bit.
I mean, it's hard. It's already hard, and it just got that much harder. It just got that much harder. But then let's go even deeper. Your actions, sir, have sent shockwaves to the black students on that campus, because now they have to hold your lack of accountability to their white counterparts. They have to. They have to. Because I guarantee them why ETAs are looking up and they upside their face going, damn, y'all coach did that? Y'all coach did that? Now, before this happened, he was our coach. But now, damn, y'all coach did that?
And as soon as the university named the white replacement, which was the former coach, oh, the Wahites are just as happy than a hog in shit. Oh, welcome back. Welcome back. Oh, I'm missing. Oh, welcome back. It's all over their website.
So that's what we're talking about, Mama Noise. It's not that we don't believe he didn't fall for the trap. He did. I believe he did fall for the trap. I actually lean toward there was probably a lot of truth in what he said, that this was consensual. Because there's no logical reason why this woman is on the phone with him at all. Like, if I'm the university president, the first question I ask is, why were you on the phone with him that late? Well, we were talking about such. Okay. Was that the first time y'all talked on the phone that late? And she'll say, well, no, we never talked before. I said, okay. And I would tell her in her face, you do realize I'm going to subpoena his records, because the allegations that you are making are very strong.
And all text message photos.
So whatever records are out there related to your phone and his phone, I'm going to have that shit before the end of the week.
And is made up of the information, specifically in the form of cookies, you leave behind as you surf the web.
I don't know what's going on. Yo, you got something playing in the background?
You leave this information behind, whether or not it's intentional.
Somebody got something playing. Okay. All right. Was that you, Al? Okay. Hilarious. Okay. So my point is, this ain't hard to track through. This ain't even hard.
Wow.
So either she's telling the truth and he did this, which is a whole nother separate thing of you just wrong, or you should have been there in the first place. What did he say? He said, how fair is it that one black man has to carry the weight of the world on his shoulder? No other race of men has that issue. I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh, Jesus.
And I mean this with all due respect, Tim. You know you're my dog. I don't care about that. We've always had to carry the weight of the world.
Come on.
This ain't nothing new.
Mm.
And it ain't never been fair, but oh well.
Well, let me answer the question like that.
Go ahead.
Every time negativity is done on the news, we as black people immediately say to ourselves in our homes, man, I sure hope that wasn't a black guy.
Yeah.
We immediately think, Lord, please don't let that be no Negro.
Can I build on what you just said real quick? Just real quick. There's a hilarious sketch done by Saturday Night Live.
I'm gonna lose my thought.
Okay, all right.
But
this sketch highlights what you're talking about.
When you wonder why a black man has to carry the weight, it's we all have to carry the standard. We all have to carry the weight.
Yeah.
He's just in the public eye.
Yeah.
And we're begging and pleading him, just like we did with Dion and his situation. We're begging and pleading, don't fuck it up.
Right.
Come on now, that's real talk.
Can I answer the question this way? Why does a black man have to carry the weight of the world on his shoulders? Because that's just how it is. Because society has vilified black men in such a way that here we are 200, 400 years past slavery, and we still being vilified and told that we're thugs and this, that, and the other. And our responsibility to ourselves and to our community is to rise above the stereotypes, lies, propaganda and mistreatments and be better. That's just how it is. You're right. No other race has to do that. There is no standard bearing white man. There is no standard bearing Hispanic man. There is no standard bearing Asian man. We are that race that we have to do it. That's just how it is. And I don't know if it is sad, to be honest with you, because guess what? I don't shy away from the responsibility. I want young Black people and my people to be excited about our success and the things that we're doing. And I want them to look and realize that we are not what we have been vilified to be. I want that. I welcome that. I want them to believe that they can be more than just a basketball. And no disrespect to basketball players or sports athletes or none of that. But I'm saying I want them to see paths that are beyond just the ones that show entertainment or whatever. I want that. I mean, Al, cuz, do y'all feel the same way, or are y'all?
Absolutely. I do. Yeah. For sure.
What does our other brother say here, Ron? Kieta, I'm hitting it. Leave it alone.
Hang on.
Kieta, space. You don't.
I'm multitasking. I apologize. I completely agree. I do. I think. And I don't mind bearing that cross.
Right.
Nope.
At all. It puts pressure on me. Right? To have some integrity. And I don't mind that pressure.
It's called accountability.
Right. Pressure makes diamonds. So yeah. I'll take it.
A good thing.
I just
But you only have that pressure, Albie. I'm sorry, Mr. Noise.
No, go ahead.
You only have that pressure, Albie, when you realize you have value.
That's key.
That's very key. Yeah.
Okay.
Mama Noise, you understand what we said? Again, I don't want you to think that you are way off, that he's being, like you said, victimized and all those things. I think all of those things can be true, but not above his ultimate choices. And that's the thing that frustrates me about the whole story. Bro, you had choices and you chose to do it differently. And that's the frustrating part. You should have never been here in the first place. This should not even be happening. You know what you should be doing? Coaching Michigan State up to the best of your ability to have a productive season. That's it. That's what you've been doing this year. That's what you've been doing last year. Now, when you look at their record last year or what they didn't do last year, kind of makes sense. Nigga, you was tired. You was up late talking, jacking off in front of the girl and doing all kinds of wild shit. I get it. It's hard to do two things at once.
And you know, Hank is saying he could be, you know, a victim of false allegations. But you have to understand, he wrote a 2-page letter detailing everything.
See, and again, I want to disagree with that statement. This ain't a mistake. This is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
A mistake is if he had stumbled into this situation unexpectedly and unknowingly, and all of a sudden. Now, if you want to say, like Mama Noise, he trusted this girl and that was the mistake, I'll stall you out on that. Okay. But the problem with your statement of saying that was a mistake is that it implies that he was supposed to be there in the first place. This wasn't two single people who met in a bar and fell in love and then it went left. This man is still married. I'm just saying. Okay, I'll leave it alone. I don't want to be the dead horse. To be continued with this story. Go ahead.
Okay, hold on one.
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
The last statement in the chat.
Yeah.
That's a false argument. That means that we have to be perfect? Come on, man. Ain't nobody saying that. No, we all fall down, but we get it back up again. But you must still understand your position. You must understand the value you hold in other people's lives. And you cannot drop that ball. with all that he is carrying. He just couldn't drop it. I'm sorry. You can't put it any other way. You can't blame the system. You can't blame the woman. You have to put it square at his feet. Brother, you dropped the ball.
It's
And
not
now,
about making mistakes. That's the wrong way to look at it. It's about fighting to be above reproach. In other words, you should not be putting yourself in situations where all of the shit can come back to you. That's what we're talking about.
Can't do it.
Mama Noise, my goal is to never allow myself to be put in a situation where we can even entertain a conversation about some shit that I've done. I want it to be so, my shit to be so tight that when they make the allegation, thank you, Anthony Bruce. Part of being a man is controlling yourself.
Damn right.
That I can't, you know what? I ain't gonna even try to take that from him. Well, if you want to call that being perfect, you can, Tim. I completely disagree. Completely disagree.
And Mr. Noise, with the statement you was just making about you want to be above that and you intend. I'm very dogmatic about mine. I would never jeopardize my family with no bull like that.
Right.
And people have told me for many years, even when I was a young whippersnapper, never say never on that. Now some things I can't say never on.
Right.
But I can tell my wife, baby, it will never happen. I ain't got but 2 nickels.
And that's not to say that somebody may not make an allegation.
Well,
listen.
She got to be a smooth criminal.
No, she don't. Listen, you just mentioned tonight, being in your transparency, you said, hey, man, some things are being said inappropriately. Now, guess what will happen? She easily go back and say, well, he was saying stuff to me too. She's lying. You see what I'm saying? But just because the allegation, listen, if I know, my best example of what I'm about to say, and Al, you might know where I'm going with this. Y'all remember when the basketball player Nick Anderson for the Orlando Magic got accused of rape. He got accused of rape on Wednesday morning. By Wednesday afternoon, he stood in front of a microphone and said, that heifer is lying. I ain't never done nothing even in the vicinity of that. And I'm suing her ass till her eyes bleed. And guess what? That story went away so fast. Because when you ain't done nothing and you right.
But Mr. Noise, you've worked with me before.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to argue that so loud. Other people would argue that for me because they know.
I agree. But my point is, when you know you're right, you walk in your rightness. You don't have to be. And that's not perfection. That's just accountability. That's just doing the right thing. So anyway, we got some other story we got to get to.
That was a deep one.
That was a deep one. This one is deep too. I don't really understand this one either. Because this was very multi-layered. We actually could do a whole show about this one as well. Crazy. So everybody understands the Steve Harvey Show. Everybody knows what it is. Steve Harvey Morning Show. Been around for a long time. 50 plus markets. 60, maybe 80 markets. I don't know. Lot of radio markets. Steve and that crew, very close. Steve, Shirley Strawberry, nephew Tommy, Carla Farrell, Junior, J. Anthony Brown now works with him. Tight crew. 9 years ago, Shirley Strawberry got married to a guy named Ernest, but he goes by Ernesto. She married the dude, Steve. She introduced him to Steve to be checked out. He gave his blessing. Everything was supposed to have worked out. Now, here's where the story goes left. Apparently, I wasn't aware of this, but apparently the dude is like a pedophile. And so he was doing some really salacious shit, like just really some wild stuff. And last year, he was arrested. Now, the reason why we didn't bring the story to you last year is because I could not find a credible source that said this was true. All of the sources that I heard were underground blogs, and I just didn't trust it enough to be able to come to y'all and say, because when we do our research, we do our research. So if we bring it here and say it, we've already researched it. We found credible sources. We know it's true. Now, I couldn't find that with this story, so I just left it alone. Even when it resurfaced again this year, I left it alone. But somebody at the jail cell where he has been in jail the last year, you know how you be having them phone calls and people call you and check up on you? You have a call from Ernesto from blah, blah, blah prison. So Shirley and him was calling and they was trying to reconcile or whatever. They are now divorced, but they were trying, I guess, reconcile. They were talking on the phone and they record them calls because they don't want you talking about no criminal ish on the phone. Well, some of them calls got leaked. And by some, I mean like 9 of them. Now, I don't know why they got leaked. That is probably still being investigated. But I do know she don't talk to him no more. And all of a sudden the calls got leaked. One of the calls was a call on the phone with him. And she talked about how she went to Steve's house and he brought her in the house and Marjorie wasn't there. And Steve was winded and they were concerned that he was so winded. And they saw a workout room there and they were like, well, was Marjorie there? No, because she thinks we to help or something. You know what? I can tell you this story, but it might be better coming from Shirley. I'll let her explain what has happened. So let me pull it up and let y'all hear it for yourselves. This is a wild, wild story, y'all. Just bear with us here. This came on the Steve Harvey Show yesterday.
Start by saying that my estranged husband is in jail. He's been in jail for over a year since about right after the 4th of July of 2022. And recently, some phone calls.
Is that better? Can y'all hear it?
Last year between he and I were leaked. And on those calls, you hear me saying you were winded going up the stairs at your home.
She's talking to Steve and the crew on the air.
Marjorie looks at us as the help. And right here and now, I want to apologize to you and Marjorie for what I said. As much as I wish I could, I can't take it back. I can't. I said it, and I want to apologize. It was definitely not me trying to add to what you and Marjorie already have going on in your lives right now. But the fact that these tapes were released, it does seem like everyone is coming for you, I should say, at this time, including me. But in reality, the tapes have nothing to do with what you and Marjorie have going on. It was just me running my mouth in a private conversation, or what I thought was a private conversation. And again, I apologize. I feel terrible. I make no excuses. I said what I said, and there's no denying it. There's no taking it back. Back then, when the phone calls happened, I was trying to stand.
If you are not one of my apple pies, those are.
The next time he called, I picked up, and that was him that I called earlier from jail. And, he told me what happened. I thought he would be getting out in a couple of days because that's what he told me. But of course, here we are a year later, those days turned into weeks, the weeks turned into months. And like I said, this is just on and on. Every day is just something. And my life has just been a nightmare ever since. And it's still going on, Steve. I mean, I had no idea that those tapes would be released to the world. I knew that they were being recorded, but I didn't know that they were going to go out to the world. I mean, I was just trying to make conversation with him, trying to, just get him to think about something other than where he was. I was telling him about my day, this particular day, and that was the day we were talking about, on the phone when I said those things about you and the things that you heard and the world heard. And cut to today, I haven't spoken to him in quite some time. Divorce proceedings are underway. And Steve, at this point, all I could say is what I have is my faith. If it wasn't for God, I probably would have, lost my mind or something in this instance. These tapes come out and, I'm talking about you and Marjorie, and you guys are going through your own private hell right now. You didn't need me to contribute to anything, and I thought back, because I knew I had to say something, speak on. You created this term years ago in Los Angeles called reality radio, and I'm gonna tell you right now, this is about as real as it gets. This is a very difficult time in my life, is if you can imagine. I love you guys. We're family, and I thank you, and I just want to thank everyone. I'm just trying to live.
So real quick before I go, Steve did respond, and for those who don't know what she's talking about when she says Marjorie and Steve are going through their own hell, I guess it's been about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Some allegations came out about Steve Harvey and Marjorie sleeping with his security guard, and they be coming for Steve and Marjorie all the time, like all the time. She's a gold digger, and she broke up his marriage and his original marriage, and it's a lot. They be coming for their neck. And this latest one was that they were going through divorce proceedings because his longtime security guard, Boone, was sleeping with her and had been for quite some time. So he did go to the internet and say that ain't true. I don't know why people are saying that or whatever, but nevertheless, this didn't help her reputation, Marjorie, because now Marjorie looks like kind of what Shirley is saying. So anyway, in the midst of all this, Shirley's lost her. There was some other financial stuff that was tied to her ex-husband or soon-to-be ex-husband's shit. Like, I think she lost her house or a car or something. She's lost like stuff. Like, she's going through a financial falling. I mean, it's just bad. Her situation in life right now are bad. I even want to say that I believe, and I normally don't do this, but I'm gonna do it just because I think I have enough of the story to say it. There's some allegations that the dude was maybe with her daughter or something, and it was like, it's wild. It's a wild circumstance that she's going through, and she was just trying to save her marriage and have, I guess, her version of pillow talk that you have when somebody's in prison. So, well, I mean, she's trying to share with her husband's Mama Noise, so I don't know, and you think that a conversation that you're having with your husband or your wife is a private conversation. You don't think that that's something that's going to get out, right? So anyway, do y'all want to comment to that, or y'all want to hear Steve's response first? Go ahead.
I don't think she's wrong at all.
Oh, okay.
At all.
Okay.
Now, her situation with Steve may be a little uncomfortable. Hopefully he can get over it and forgive her. But every couple in these United States and beyond, every couple communicates in privacy about others.
Absolutely.
I don't give a damn who you be. If you come over to my house and you're a couple, just know that we're probably passing judgment on your ass. Likewise, I'm sure you got a passing judgment on our asses. Where the problem comes in, we
could be close and everything.
Right. Where the problem comes in is if you are comfortable enough to voice your opinion to others outside of your marriage. That's where the problem comes in. But y'all, husband and wives, unless y'all don't talk, husband and wives talk. And it ain't necessary that they feel a certain way about the couple, or good or bad. They're just trying to communicate how they feel in order to come to maybe a consensus.
And by the way, that's her boss, but that's also her friend. And if you think bosses and friends don't have moments where they done got on each other's nerves, then you don't know how the world works. We all have.
Who ain't talked about their boss to their own wife?
Yeah.
Good or bad?
Good or bad.
Come on. She ain't done nothing wrong with that. Now, the fact that it was recorded and released, that's a problem for her and for Steve. It's a effed up situation because people are obviously going for money. That's why it was released.
What makes the thing really uncomfortable is that when your life is spiraling both naturally, spiritually, and financially,
right,
it look like you about to lose your job. Because listen, if Marjorie really, really, truly felt the way, she's probably gonna be fired. But this is what Steve's response was.
Talking about she was in my other marriage and ruined it. She did. My marriage, I got divorced in 2005. But in 2005, let me hip you to something. I had nothing. I lost the radio show we were on in LA on March 23rd, and I lost the only TV show I had May 10th. May 23rd, I lost the radio show, and May 10th, I lost the TV show. Steve Harvey had no money. Out with Marjorie again, New Year's Eve, met her, talked to her. She was with her kids in Hawaii. We got together in 2006. We had nothing. When I asked her to marry me at the end of 2006, and then she said she wanted to get married in 2007, I told her too soon. I got to get some stuff together. We got married in 2007. Do you know what I was doing in 2007? Nothing. We had four stations in 2005. 4. We built this. All of us built this. We had 4 stations. We turned this into something. But that woman got down in that foxhole with me and turned this into something. In 2007, we got married. In 2008, we found out that somebody had stolen 7 years of my tax return. I ain't gonna mention no name. And we owed the government $22 million and we in debt. But then guess what? She stayed with me in that. Then guess what? In 2009, I got Family Feud. In 2009, the book came out. In 2012, the talk show came out. I'm telling you, this woman got in the hole and built this with me. She didn't steal nothing. And I'm tired of y'all talking about my girl. Because my girl is one of the best women I've ever met. And why you black ass people out there, like you just gonna destroy somebody, I don't really know what that's about. But don't worry about it because it ain't working. Because all we are now, we are a tighter two-handed circle. Thank you for doing that. And you're not gonna split us up. And we're not going nowhere. And she is none of what you said she is. And she the best chick I know.
All right, Steve, I'm going to just start by saying that my estranged husband is in jail. It's a very difficult time.
Okay, so I thought he responded to, this was the recording where he responded. I may not have that. But that was his response as related to Margie. But from what I understand, he also kind of forgave Shirley for what she did,
about it. They've already knew. They already
knew
about it.
Yeah, and they already knew about it. Right. It wasn't surprising information. Right. But it was surprising that it got out.
Right.
And I agree with Anthony Bruce. This has got to be some kind of federal crime,
sure,
or state crime, because those recordings aren't supposed to get out. The only reason they record those calls is so that if something criminal is going on with somebody that's behind bars, or there's some type of transactional situation going on, they can talk about it. They can be ahead of that. So, wild situation. But I agree with you, cuz, and Al, I'd love to hear what you and Mama Noise got to say about this as well.
I'll say this. it sounds, in my opinion, it sounds a lot worse than it is. Because if they are true friends, they'll get through this with no problem whatsoever.
Right.
Because it's a simple matter of, well, Steve, well, Marjorie, this is how I felt on this day.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate that we live in a disease-infested society where somebody felt the need to release this into public air. But it is what it is. But if they are true friends, not just subordinate employer, they'll get through this.
Yeah.
You said employer.
Yes.
Okay.
Steve's her employer, right?
Yes, sir. He's the employer. Yeah, that's true.
Put that together as one word. Okay.
What are you talking about?
Never mind. Mama Noise, I would love to hear what you have to say on this one. Take your time. Take your time.
I'm mute, Mama Noise. I'm mute.
Well, my husband is my best friend. Okay, hold on.
That's
Hold on, baby, great. I don't know why that's doing it. So I come home and talk to him about everything, or we talk about everything.
Everything.
You know, I mean, I have a few female friends, but no one's closer to me, as close to me as my husband is. So I do come to him with some stuff, lots of stuff. Some stuff he'd be like, I don't want to hear that. But there's stuff where, I mean, I still come to it with him anyway, because that's how close we are. Now he will let me know when it's too far or okay.
But you know,
he'll let me know when it's too far, or he'll let me know when I'm doing too much or whatever.
Mama Noise, it's okay for you to be too far or doing too much when you're talking with him in the privacy of your home.
Right. I'm thinking that when I'm talking to him, sometimes I'm bouncing it off of him.
That's the part I'm talking about.
You know, he's saying, you looking at this wrong, Kenyatta. The way I see it is, you know, XYZ.
There you go. He's not as big of an asshole as you think he is, honey.
That's all I'm saying. So, I mean, I understand why she told, you know, this guy who was or at the time was her husband. She's, you know, dumping on him all the stuff that, you know, she want to tell him about her job. And maybe she do feel some kind of way. She's at work all day with Steve and him or whatever. And then how she really feels, she shared with the person that, you know, is supposed to be her husband. So
nothing wrong with it.
So then there's that.
Nothing
but again,
wrong.
You don't expect. Now, on the other hand, I will tell you, I remember one time, this has never happened to me before. One time I was talking on the phone to one of my friends, and who I thought was a friend. And granted, it had been a long time ago since we were really close friends, high school. But this day in particular, you know, I talked to her, whatever, and I hung up the phone. Well, I grabbed my phone again, and it turns out that she didn't hang up the phone. So she's on her phone connected with another call. So her and this girl were having a conversation, and now it's a conference call. She didn't know that I was still on the phone. Well, I didn't know I was still on the phone until I picked my phone up. And she was just going all the way in on what she thought about my husband, my family. She was just doggy dog, you know. And I was like floored because I'm going, wow. And I mean, I'm just holding the phone, and I'm sitting there going, how? I can't believe, because when she was talking to me, it was all, God is good, and it's a blessing. And she talked, me and Lloyd called it Christianese. She was saying all the Christian conversation where I was like, oh man, she is such a blessing. Man, I'm so glad I ran into her, man, she's amazing. And we're just talking. But then when the phone got connected and she got on the phone with her real friend, she just went in and said what she really felt. And it just broke my heart. I was like, wow. I mean, now I know to stay away from her. But I'm just saying, it really, made me feel some kind of way. And I've never experienced anything like that since then. But I'm just saying, when you're on the other side and you thinking that person's your friend, and all of a sudden you get to hear how they really feel, you just like, dag on.
But you know what? I don't think she said anything.
Nope.
That Shirley said anything that was so off kilter.
Nope.
Like, all she said was, they think we the help. Okay, well, they probably do help a lot. They probably are asked to help, shit, because we friends. Like, I bring you over to the house and you family. I might tell you to carry some trays. I might tell you to, if we got a bunch of people over and we feeding everybody or whatever, I might tell you, and I done paid for everything. Well, shit, hell. I might tell you to grab a tray and take it out to the porch, or you might feel compelled to come help me wash these dishes at the end of the night or whatever. So to me, it was a very benign comment. It wasn't anything that was so harsh. Like Al said, this don't feel like something we can't work through.
It basically, she was not being mean or vicious at all in the conversation.
Right.
Really, what was showing was that she has some jealousy on the inside.
Probably.
And listen. It takes a strong person to sometimes admit that, because a lot more people are jealous of you than that will admit to it.
Yeah.
A lot of
people true.
Are envious of one another, to a degree.
Yeah.
So that's really all she voiced. I mean, she was jealous of the fact that Marjorie has somebody coming to the house working her out, and she got a whole workout room, and she basically sounded like she was a little envious of Marjorie.
And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. That's humanistic. I don't have an issue with that. What I have an issue is the asshole who leaked them tapes. Now, I have a theory.
Oh.
Because I ain't 100% sure that nigga didn't leak the tapes.
How can he? He's in prison. How can he?
By talking to somebody who has access to the tapes. You don't think that happens? Hey man, leak these tapes to one of these sites for me, and we'll split the money.
Well, because TMZ will pay money to anybody.
Everybody paying money for it. TMZ is on YouTube. All 9 tapes are on YouTube right now.
I don't think there's any splitting of money going on. I think somebody on the inside leaked that tape, and they trying to get paid.
They probably are, but I'm saying whoever it is, they're going to get fired.
They ain't going to get the criminal.
But they're going to get arrested.
Well, yeah. Maybe.
I believe it when I see it.
It's got to be a federal crime to leak that shit. Got to be.
But it's happening to black people that the Wahites might not give a damn about.
Yeah,
that part.
That's true. Let me ask y'all a question. We're going to end this conversation right here on this question, because I'm just curious. How do y'all feel about Marjorie Harvey?
I don't.
Okay. Do you think she's a gold digging, backstabbing, money grabbing opportunist as she is being portrayed to be?
Hell, my wife was a gold digger. I told her, I said, you ain't messing with no broke nigga.
Okay, Kanye.
My wife got with me because she believed I had money making potential and would be a good husband. we all get with somebody because we believe something. That thing called love. Okay. Everybody, I'm in love. But really, we find something about that person that will be beneficial to us, or to us as a couple.
Well, I'll say this, and this might not be popular preaching, but it's probably the truth. And then Al, Mama Noise, I want to hear what y'all got to say about it as well. You better have an idea that y'all can dig gold together.
That's what I'm saying.
It ain't nothing like sitting in the house together, broke, and ain't got no money, and both your stomachs growling.
Sitting around here looking like Daffy Ducks with a daffodil.
I'm just saying, you better be with somebody that's trying to do something. That's all I'm saying. So I don't know. I think she's probably a wonderful woman. We all got our issues or whatever, but at the core, she's probably a good lady, man. I don't never hear her saying nothing negative about nobody or doing nothing negative about anything. So it's just weird to me that they be coming for her like that. But
jealous,
huh?
Jealous.
It's part. I say it's part jealousy, but it's also, dare I say, arrogance. But then you have to say it's well deserved arrogance by his own summation. She was down in the dirt with him.
Yeah.
So she helped dig out, climb out, pull out. She did it all to get them back atop, you know. So is it deserved? Absolutely. But could I imagine myself sitting in the break room drinking a cup of coffee saying, this bitch think I work for her. I work for Steve. Absolutely. Because she has that persona that what he has, I have. What he, you know, and that's okay because they built it back up together.
Well, I'm gonna say something to y'all right now, publicly, and just get it on out the way. When we come into our kingdom, and Mama Noise start getting on Instagram wearing all these fancy outfits and looking all good, and if she decided to put her titties out or whatever,
wait a minute,
y'all just got to take this L because the shit we've been through, she has earned the right. So I'm sorry, but we go if she wants. Now she probably won't, but if she wants to floss, I ain't gonna stop her.
Listen, I don't understand.
I'm just saying, I'm not gonna stop her.
I don't understand. We as a people, I think we got it twisted sometimes.
Go ahead.
We don't mind rappers living loud.
Or any celebrity. Any celebrity.
We don't mind them living big, but in Steve's case, it appears that they have actually arrived. We know a lot of the people that live out loud are just fronting to a degree.
Right.
But Steve and his wife, it appears that they have actually arrived.
Yeah.
And that's what I think rubs some people wrong. I mean, when I see her dresses on Instagram or whatever they be walking and he holding a cigar and she looking fabulous. I love black love. I have no problem with black love. Look good. I would rather see you and Marjorie doing what you're doing than Whitney and Bobby doing what they was doing.
Facts. That's facts. So I don't have no problem with it. So live your life. It's your life. Whatever. We can't end on this, y'all. We got to end on a much more positive note. I saw something. Well, actually, Cuz sent it to me. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Cuz, when you sent it to me, I was a bit shocked. I was like, really? But then I also understood. I also understood. Like, you know, I get it. So I'll just let the video, I guess, kind of speak for itself. It's, you know, listen, Shit, and the words of cuz shit hell,
Wow.
This is what happens. Here you go.
Up to the fourth year of the loss of Lois, my wife, for 49 and a half years. It is a tender time. There are reminders everywhere of her life and of her influence on me, my family, in this ministry. We are very close family, and all that has happened in my life, family, church, urban alternative, books, tapes, everything has been defined by her. So we've had over these 4 years, the ups and downs and the roller coaster of emotions, sometimes high, sometimes low. But that comes with it. Some of you have experienced it yourself with losses and coming through COVID, because right after she passed was COVID, and we had to deal with that, as you did too. And I want to just thank so many of you who have been grievers with us, allowed us to grieve with you on some of your times. And so that's part of life. It's outside of our hands. We had to put it in the hands of a sovereign God. So as I work through the ups and downs of singlehood, God in His sovereignty has brought someone into my life, and this someone has traveled this similar road. In fact, she and her husband were on their way to Lois's funeral when her husband died. And as I've tried to share the ups and downs of my life with you, I wanted to share this and get you the opportunity to meet my new fiancée, Miss Carla Thomas. So it's a sensitive time. It's a time when, because during the times like this, you're also reminded of loss. And so I want your sensitivity as you pray for me, as we walk through this journey, as she walks through the grief that she's had to walk through. I lost my father 1 month and then lost my wife the next month. She lost her mother 1 year, lost her husband the next year. So there've been a lot of similarities. And so just pray for us. It's already invoked some grief in some people, which I can understand, because we're reminded about the fingerprints. The one thing I've appreciated about Sister Carla is that she has held Lois Evans high and honoring her legacy here in Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship, and I appreciate that.
So, I mean, wow. That was shocking. I won't lie. That was shocking. I'm happy for him.
Would you explain who he is?
Tony Evans, that's Dr. Tony Evans, the one of the most successful, I'd say top 5 Black preachers in this country. Has been for quite some time, wildly popular, very charismatic, just a really solid guy.
Oak Cliff Bible Church.
Pastor of Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship, and has had a broadcast for
many
20, 30 years, the Urban Alternative. Him preaching, him teaching. Now his daughter does a lot of teaching. Son does a lot of teaching. Son-in-law rather does a lot of teaching. Just a really solid dude.
4 years ago.
And 4 years ago, his wife she died before COVID, right? Well, she had been sick for a long time. I think she died of cancer, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Yeah. And she had been sick a long time, battle. And then right before COVID, she passed. And so 4 years, he decided it's time to find somebody else. You know, I'm not really mad at that. I know as a church, they probably might feel some people gonna feel away. I get it. But I don't know, man. He's still here. So I don't know. That's a tough one. I get it. I get why people might feel a way about it. But I also am very happy for him. Go ahead, Cuz.
Sound like you struggling. So
I'm not struggling. I'm not struggling. I'm trying to be sensitive to the people who I know are struggling.
Well, okay. So the first question is, and these are general things because I don't think he's done anything wrong.
Nothing.
At all. At all.
Right.
If I've been married for 49 years, then I'm probably in my 70s.
Yeah.
Not him in particular. I'm just saying in general.
Right.
Why do I need to start all over again? Now, that's personal. That's a personal thing. He has to make that choice and she has to make that choice.
Right.
I just find it interesting that I would start all over after having such a successful marriage and built such a successful church and such a successful life together. Why can't I ride this thing on out for the next 5-10 years?
And just to be clear, he's 74.
74, right.
And she died in 2019. They got married. This doesn't say when they got married, but
49 years of marriage.
Was it 49?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's a long time.
It's a long time.
Long time. And the other part is probably because of the way she passed, they had a lot of conversations.
Yes.
This was not an unexpected passing. So I'm sure most spouses out there, if they were in that position, they would tell their other spouse that's still alive.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm passing, but you're still alive, and I want you to live the rest of your life with somebody. You would probably give them the okay, unless you're some selfish asshole. You would probably tell them it's okay. Find you somebody, and love her just as much as you loved me. Have my approval. So I'm sure they probably had that conversation.
And can I add to that? I think part of the blessing that you release upon that person is rooted in the reality that you are pastoring a church of 10,000 people.
Right.
And you probably need to be covered. This is what we just got to talk about, the Mel Tucker situation.
Mel Tucker, right.
Yeah. You probably don't need to be out there where you have these urges or desires and you can't fulfill those because of whatever. You need to be covered and protected.
Right.
And so maybe that's why, you know, I'm just surmising. I don't know, but I'm just surmising. That's the situation. But Al, Mama Noise, what do y'all think about this?
I'm not shocked at all. I mean, it's been, 3-4 years almost. So I'm not shocked at all that he's found another companion. I've known preachers that have remarried after the death of a spouse in shorter time than that. Yeah. So, I'm not shocked at all by that. And could it be the traditionalist that's buried within him? The man of God, the pastor should be the husband of one wife. And so does he have to be married? Probably not. But is it safer to be married? Absolutely. Because them sisters and some of them wannabe sisters
Right.
They're gonna be throwing themselves at him like, woo.
And according to the interweb, which we, sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's not. But she's younger. She looks younger.
Oh, absolutely, she's younger.
Yeah, she may be several years younger, as a matter of fact.
No, like
No.
20 years younger.
I was thinking 20.
Oh yeah.
She's somewhere in the 50 to 60 range.
50.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have an issue with it.
No.
God bless you, Pastor Evans. Do your thing, brother.
Hell, I'm more shocked that he's been single this long.
Now, for me, I'm speaking personally.
Yeah.
I would probably ride it out.
Well, that's because you think everybody should be dead by 70. I don't know how many times you told us on this here podcast.
You have said that.
I don't want to be around that long.
That's right.
You have said that, sir. You have said that.
It's 80. It's 80. It's 80.
Now you want to change the okay.
Yeah, I think he's upped it.
Al, because he ain't got but 6 more years anyway. So what's the
Well, see, right. He finally got to taste White Castles, so he wants to extend it a little bit longer.
Right.
Don't start on that because
exactly.
It pissed me off.
Oh,
no, don't you start on that with your bullshit.
Please, Lord, let me live 10 more years so I can get back to White Castles. Please, Lord Jesus.
Made me get off on the exit and go to try this White Castle, and it's nothing but crystals. I said, these dumbasses.
You know what? What? The devil is a lie, and you're not gonna tell it on this here podcast. We have never lied to these people. We're not gonna start now.
Same sandwich, folks.
We're not gonna start now.
I'm sorry.
Your response is sorry. I agree.
That's true.
That's like y'all saying there's a difference between seasoned oil and seasoned salt. It's the same damn thing.
So slap your mama and Tony Ray's the same thing. It's all Cajun season, the same thing.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna
garlic powder, it's same as garlic salt. It's same thing. It's same thing.
Too far.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just trying to grip your analogy.
I said
that's how you sound right now. Ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So
Morton's, Lowry's, it's all the same. Oh, it's all the same.
All right, we gotta give a couple shout outs before we go. To me, the number one shout out gotta go to Coco Golf. My God in heaven, young lady, you are amazing. And
I thought you were gonna say the Cowboys, but go ahead, I agree.
I ain't giving them bastards a shout out. I'm giving a real shout out to Coco Golf, 19-year-old U.S. Open champion.
Absolutely.
Who did her thing. By the way, if you watch the match, it was really hilarious because she had that white girl shook.
Why does it have to be about race?
It doesn't, but it was. I'm not calling her white girl because it was race.
Oh, she had that European whooped, boy.
She had her shook. She had the girl shook. Because I watched both matches. I watched the one with Madison Key and I watched the one with Coco. The one with Madison Key, she had Madison's number, and Madison couldn't really get her head together and get it straight. Coco was not fazed by them shots at all. And every time she returned one of them power shots, the girl didn't know what to do with herself. She looked lost.
Yeah. Coco got in her head real quick.
Real quick. Yeah. To the point where she kept changing rackets. I'm like, baby girl, it ain't the racket that's hitting them balls out.
And you know what? I can't stand Jay Joyner.
Wow.
What Jay Joyner do?
So he posted watching Coco. So somebody hit him back with, "Oh, that is a beautiful movie, hilarious."
Oh.
Do you think he took the time to correct her?
No.
Absolutely not. He just let it ride.
He sure did.
Listen, LB. One thing you must learn about me is truth. Now, I engage on this podcast, but when you come to me with some stupid shit outside this podcast, I have no.
Like that young lady was the only person in the social network world that did not understand Coco Golf was playing tennis at that moment.
She really didn't. Because when she said it, and she's like, "Oh, it's such a good movie," I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, like, ma'am, we gonna just pretend like you didn't say that, and we're gonna move on.
Leave it alone. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, I started to be like, no, ma'am, Coco Golf, U.S. Open, but I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Jay didn't say anything. I ain't gonna say nothing.
He didn't say that. He let it ride. He let it ride. So, but yeah, that's my shout out. Y'all got any shout outs y'all want to give? I'll give y'all time.
I only shout out, seriously, Mr. Noise, 40-0. Mr. Noise, you have to acknowledge a 40-0 in the NFL ass whooping. This ain't no high school. This ain't no college. These are pros on the
Our defense done something to y'all in a half that typically don't happen to teams in a season.
I will admit it wasn't as I can't. Listen. You can't come back with a black eye, a busted lip, a busted nose, a limp,
and say I got mine in.
Up and say you did good in the fight.
Okay.
You gotta say that wasn't our day. That wasn't our day.
My shout out goes to the New York Jets.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna give my pseudo shout out to Aaron Rodgers, the new star of Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh my God.
We haven't used this in the new season yet, but it is wildly appropriate now.
IMTV out.
Savage! I'm a savage! Oh!
Damn, Al.
Oh my God.
Third play of the opening possession.
I got to be honest with you.
Wasn't it a non-contact injury?
No. He got sacked.
Did he? Okay.
But still,
it was a harmless sack.
When you watched the sack, you were like,
"That was a harmless sack."
It wasn't until I saw the replay and the way his toe was digging in the ground and the guy was over top of him, and then the doctors came along and explained later when you saw that shaking of his calf, that was his Achilles ripping out of the back of his leg.
Career? Question mark.
Yeah, he done.
Here's my question to you is,
recovering at 40?
Why would you? Right? Why? Other than you not wanting to go out like that, what other reason would you go back through this process? Because it's gonna take you a year to get back.
A whole year.
And then after that, it's gonna take you another 6 months to get comfortable.
To get it right. Yep.
Right. They tell you it takes. Everybody that's ever had an Achilles tear tells you it takes 18 months to get comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you're gonna lose 2 years.
Yeah, he's done. He's done.
So I don't know why you would do that if you're Aaron Rodgers, but
the truth of the matter is, most people, I can't say people. A lot of people thought that he would get injured this season because of his age. We just didn't think it was going to be the third play.
And his janky offensive line. That offensive line is janky.
Right.
Yeah. So that's rough, man. That's a tough way to go out. So, Mama Noise, you got any shout outs?
I want to know why he shouted out the Jets, though. I mean,
because they still won the game.
I thought he shouted out the Jets because they was going to hire Kaepernick. That's what I thought.
They hired Kaepernick. They should, but they're not going to.
Sure, yeah.
They should, but they're not going to. Mama Noise, who you shouting out? First of all, I want to shout out you. Shout out to you for, toughening it up and sticking it out and giving us your all and your passion and shit.
Good job, Mama Noise.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got any shout outs, Mama?
No.
Have they found that little killer boy that's been running the streets in Pennsylvania? Have they found him yet?
He ain't been running the streets. He's been running the woods.
Well, the woods, wherever. Shit, I don't need him out there. Hit his ass. What we waiting on? Have they found him yet?
No.
He ain't near here. He ain't here? Where's he at? Pennsylvania.
That's scary. I tell you what, though, I would hate to be in those communities where he's out there running
Oh
around.
man,
Because now he has a pistol.
did y'all see how he broke out of jail on some Spider-Man shit, crawling the walls and
backwards,
and then going through the roof? I said, damn, this nigga really wanted to get out.
He had been out because that takes some upper body strength to do some shit like that.
Yeah, he a little dude too. He a little fella.
Fell flat on my face.
Oh yeah, there's no way I'd have made it to the top of that. At no point in my life was I able to crawl backwards to a roof and then once there crawl through the roof. There's never been a point in my life when I've been able to do that. Of course, there's never been a point in my life where I needed to do that either. So I guess maybe necessity is the mother of invention. So I don't know, but personally, I wouldn't have done that. That just, But anyway, I hope they catch his ass. All right, well, that's all we got. Listen, we had a blast on Saturday. Al, we missed you, man. On Saturday, when we did the uncorked wine, and we going through now. I'm gonna tell you the truth. This 50th hip hop list is stressful as hell. It is stressful because trying to lock down these songs. Shout out to Mr. Uncorked Wine, Ron Nolan. Trying to lock down these songs year by year is hard. It's not easy, but it was fun. But it got stressful as the years continued on. So we're doing part 2 this weekend. So pull up on us for that. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Mr. Noise, if you had to name just one rap song, what's the greatest rap song of all time?
That's what we're trying to figure out now.
Well, off the top of your head, just.
Oh man,
Mama Noise, what do you think? The number one.
It's easy for me.
What you say? Oh, it is easy for you?
Absolutely, because I'm gonna go with the original.
Rapper's Delight?
Yep.
Wow.
Hibbity, hip, hopper, you don't stop the rocket to the bang bang boogie.
And by the way, Rapper's Delight,
I agree,
is we are the only list that I've seen Rapper's Delight on that I've seen. Now, I've seen a whole bunch of lists, but Rapper's Delight don't normally make nobody's list. And I'm saying, how? It's the original. You don't get none of these other songs without Rapper's Delight. I don't care if you make it 50. It's still got to be on your list. So, I don't know. That's a tough question because I don't know.
Well, I agree with Al B. I mean, I don't know rap as well as you gentlemen, obviously.
Right.
But Rapper's Delight is the rap song for me.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Well, listen. We coming back on this weekend with round 2, 99 to the present. We're gonna try to keep it going, but I'm telling you, from 83 to 98, it was hard. It was really, really hard.
Listen, the most fierce, amazing rapper of all time. I'm sure you're gonna say Tupac.
I would not say Tupac. She gonna say Tupac. She gonna definitely say Tupac.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, she gonna say Tupac all day and every day.
Is that because of his looks?
Huh?
Is that because of his lyrics or his looks?
It might be a combination of both. If Tupac would have approached my wife first, I'd be doing this podcast with somebody else.
But what about LL Cool J, Mama Noise?
Nope.
No. Okay.
For me, and I'll go a top 3 because we're gonna do a list for that as well. But my top 3 is Biggie, Jay, and Rakim. I love those 3. Oh, and Andre 3000.
Useless.
I know you want me to put Eminem on the list because he want me to put Eminem on the list. I love Eminem. He ain't in my top though. He ain't in my top.
If you only pick one, Mr. Noise, would it be Jay?
I don't know. Most days it would be.
Okay.
But in other days, I'll be going through my Biggie moments, and then other days I'll be going through my Rakim moments, and I definitely be going through my Andre 3000.
Let me guess. Your all-time favorite actor of all times, Juicy Smollett.
You know what? You don't have to do that. That's not necessary. That's not necessary, Al. That just feels like bedtime. Al is very savage. I gotta tell you the truth. He is He is very savage. But we gonna go through a whole thing. We waited this long for this purpose. So when we get ready to reveal it, we can hopefully do it in a big way. But anyway, that's what we got for you. Tomorrow we got the 5. Yes, we will be talking about the good, the bad, and the oh my gods of this weekend. And then of course we got Believe in the ACC.
Okay, listen.
Yeah.
Just one question before you leave.
Yes, sir.
I apologize, Mama. No, I apologize.
You're doing good, bro. I like the interaction.
Mr. Norris, were you amazed by that defense?
Oh my.
Do I have to answer that honestly?
You are a sportsman.
Do I have to answer that honestly?
Come on. You're a sportsman.
Do I have? I'm just asking. Do I have to answer?
Your Honor, could you please have the witness answer the question?
Okay, hold on 1 second. Just hold on 1 second. Just 1 second.
Oh wow.
Just 1 second. Because I can't answer this honestly with that. Okay. Hell yeah.
You had to cover up the Giants.
What?
Oh wow.
I mean, listen. How can you not be? They got speed everywhere.
It really felt good being able to go to bed at 9:00, knowing that victory was secure.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. It was. Listen. It was impressive. It was an impressive game from that perspective. Now, do I believe that they can make it to the Super Bowl? We'll find out. I think they can if Dak don't F it up. But I still ain't convinced he ain't gonna F it up.
Well, if that defense stays healthy, that's the key. I don't see nobody racking 30, 40 points on them.
Yeah, but y'all gonna put up 30, 40 points every game.
Well, no, I agree, but I believe the defense has the ability to score once or twice every game with that type of speed.
It's hard to argue that.
And I also agree that they have enough. Also agree they have enough offensive potential. With the 3 backs that they have, the wide receivers. I think we're not going to be as productive as they think we are going to be with these fresh tight ends.
Yeah.
Right. Because them drop balls were crucial.
They were.
I mean, it should have been 56-0.
Yeah, you're right.
We have completely lost Mama Noise. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the post show and hey Catherine, good to see you, girl. We'll go to the post show and let Mama Noise off the hook since I know she ain't feeling good. We'll see y'all tomorrow for the 5, Thursday morning for the Believe in ACC, and then Thursday night for Talkin NOIZ.
I want to retract my shout out. Mama Noise gets my shout out. She labored through, active participant, aggressive participant in the conversation. So my shout out goes to Mama Noise.
She did her thing tonight. I'm proud of her. I'm very proud.
Thank you, Al.
I gave you the same shout out. You didn't say nothing. We're gonna talk about that after the show. I'm just saying you're gonna give Al all his credit, and I initiated. What you know what? Let's just go to Black. I'm gonna talk to you, Mama.